When the city calls, they answer. This is a place in Winnipeg that never sleeps, that's never closed, because this is where saving lives begins.
Paramedic 2-4, this is dispatch.
Our City News Connect episode tonight takes a peek into the daily lives of our first responders. Before the sirens, before the flashing lights, it begins with a voice on the other end of the phone.
Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service, what's the address of the emergency?
Lyndon Rasmussen didn't envision a life working at the 911 Communication Center, but it's been his home away from home for the past 15 years.
It's a really, really interesting job. Never had another job like this. Not the job I figured I'd land in. Again, I did my fire training. I'm a trained firefighter, and I wanted that life, but I enjoy the work I do, and it's awesome here. So. Regardless, ma'am, we're going to be there quickly for you, okay? Just stay on the phone with me. Ma'am, no, stay on the phone with me, please. Are you clammy or having cold sweats? I'm going to tell you how to check your own pulse. Okay, now find the Adam's apple on your neck. Use 2 fingers to feel on either side of it for a pulse. Tell me when you found it. So while I'm doing this, the ambulance and fire crew is already dispatched. I've muted the caller, and the ambulance and fire crew is already dispatched to her call. Is that the firefighters there, the paramedics? All right, I'll let you go, ma'am, okay? You take care, bye-bye. So, very quick response time. Cardiac symptoms happened to be driving past, so the fire truck was virtually there a minute after she called 911. So, yeah.
With life or death situations calling into the center 24/7, the team is always on high alert, and it's crucial they keep the environment as comfortable and calm as possible to be ready for what's waiting for them on the other end.
I've noticed that the lights are turned down very low, and despite calls coming in, it is actually quite a calm atmosphere. Is that on purpose?
Yes, exactly. So basically, you may notice it's kind of quieter in the room because the phones aren't ringing out loud, but basically the call takers can be on back-to-back calls. So we try to create an environment that has less stimuli around because they are experiencing a lot through their headset on a constant basis.
This is Chad Sukbir, who has been the District Chief Communications with the WFPS for 13 years.
The supervisors, myself, will come in at 6:30, and we organize the rotation schedule. So basically, we decide where everyone starts at their desk, and then where they'll rotate every 2 hours after that.
Oh, we literally rotate desks.
Exactly.
22, are you available?
And I just like being here for the staff and supporting them as they do the work, because it just keeps getting busier and busier, and I know that I can be there for them, so that's what keeps me coming to work every day.
Hey, it's Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service calling. Is this?
Rasmussen has noticed calls ramping up too, which he says is due to increased structure fire, mental health, and overdose calls.
I believe the call volume when I started in 2010 was around 85,000 calls that year, and 2 years ago we did 176,000 calls. It roughly equates to just less than 500 calls a day that we're dispatching on. So,
out of the thousands of calls he's taken over the years, some stand out, including 4 births.
One was the cord was around the baby's neck, and baby wasn't breathing, baby was blue. So the dad did everything I said, and baby pinked up and started crying and breathing, and the one it was in the middle of winter, and it was out on the highway, and it was a long response time for us. So the dad took off the mom's bootlace and tied her on the umbilical cord, because that's we don't clamp the cord, or we don't cut the cord pre-hospital. We want to clamp it, so that's our protocol. And the dad was able to use his mom's bootlace to tie the cord, and then our responders got there. Baby and mom were good in the end, but we have to improvise sometimes on those calls. But
And improvising isn't easy. The communication center's biggest problem, there's not enough help available to go around.
That's a big struggle for us right now, is finding resources to send when people are hurt or sick. We have 0% ambulances available for the city right now, so we have no ambulances available in Winnipeg right now, which is, unfortunately, it's a normal situation. Some calls do wait, so it's difficult because we know someone can be very, very sick or very, very hurt, and we don't have resources to send them. We respond to a lot of elderly folks that fall, so they will sit sometimes with possibly a hip fracture because it's still a low acuity call for us. So.
But with increased need also comes the need for change, and the team is ready to adapt. In the coming months, incoming calls will be triaged differently, leaving more resources for people who need it most.
We have a job that matters, and it matters we do it well, so yeah. And I've got a good team here, so, and I enjoy the work we do, so, okay.
I'm Joanne Roberts, and we are taking a look into the daily lives of first responders with the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. While most calls begin at the 911 Communication Center, teams all across the city mobilize immediately, while callers are still on the line to make sure help gets where it needs to go, and fast.
If there's any patients or any firefighters or anybody that gets injured, our role is to provide medical care to them at the scene.
District Chief of Paramedic Operations, Russell McKenzie, has been with the WFPS for 25 years. At 8 a.m., we're on our way to a fire at an apartment on College Avenue.
A little bit challenging because they had to make their way up 3 stories in there, up the stairwell and stuff with the hoses and stuff. So a little bit challenging to get up.
And in terms of like resident displacement, I'm imagining in something as close quarters as an apartment like this, everyone's got to go no matter what.
Yeah, so in this case, the whole building would be evacuated and stuff. They would get them out, if they needed to, they would have people shelter in place if they needed and stuff. But it sounded like in this incident that everyone had evacuated the building.
By the time we arrived, crews had already put out the main fire, but the job didn't stop there.
So they knocked the fire down from outside, and crews got in there quick knockdown. Really good job.
This is Mackenzie's fire counterpart at the scene, Dick Vleming, District Chief 24, a firefighter for 39 years. He says now it's time for the overhaul.
Overhaul is making sure that there's no more fire left. That's every nook and cranny is opened, and make sure that there's no more active fire.
Vleming says a big help for fire crews today, whether they're facing small embers or a sea of flames, is the technology that's now available.
If this fire had actually got into the roof, I could send the drone up, and it has thermal imaging on there. I don't have to send anybody on the roof, and I can see where this fire is traveling, or if we've knocked it down. When I got on, we never had that, so it would send guys up and a lot of crews, and it helps us, and it keeps the firefighters safe also.
But with Winnipeg firefighters taking some of the largest amount of calls across the country, sometimes they need a little help. This is Scooby, Canada's first dog who graduated from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives program in Virginia. He's what's called an accelerant detection canine. When he's on duty, he's looking for smells of accelerants possibly used to start a fire. And when he's off duty, well...
Everybody just worked hard today, and everything worked really good. So no injuries, so that's what we want.
With no injuries and the fire quickly moving to be completely extinguished, it's time for us to head back out with Mackenzie to the next call.
Yeah, so we're going for a female who's fallen outside. One of our fire crews is on scene, and they've requested an ambulance to come priority 1. And priority 1 is lights and sirens response. So we were just at that previous call. It's icy outside. We just had this fresh snow came down and stuff. So, I'm thinking in case she's fallen outside, she may have a fracture or something. She may have a head injury. It's still a bit colder outside today. She's on the cold ground, so we're going to need to get her up off the ground and into a warm environment, as soon as we can. and provide any further treatments that we're going to need to on the way to the hospital.
Okay. Obviously formula and stuff. Okay. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Do you guys have any blankets or anything?
Our fire crew arrived on scene. Our firefighter PCP assessed the patient. They found her to have a lower leg injury. So they had splinted the leg, and they've called for an ambulance to come. But because we're a little degraded right now, it's taking us a while to get a unit assigned due to how busy it is right now. They talked to the building here, and they were able to get her up off the ground and take her inside the building to help keep her warm, just because it's a little bit cooler this morning.
The work never stops. We also responded to another slip and fall that happened right across the field, reports of a seizure and another report of an overdose. At around 1 p.m., with the radio silent for the first time all morning, Mackenzie finally called it for lunch.
It's me again.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Long time.
Good, yeah.
You look different without.
Yeah, without that big cap on, eh? So, how's my hair?
We ran into District Chief Dick Vlaming returning from another call where his team was going through a meticulous post-fire hygiene protocol.
What we do is, after the fire, crews take their equipment off, is bagged. It's actually a great big laundry mat for turnout gear that the Winnipeg Fire Department has. It washes our clothes, makes sure it's right back up to what our standards are. And in the meantime, they've got a person coming with the same kind of equipment that they've had on. So they can switch out equipment at any time. And so the firefighters in a little while will be right back to where they were, getting on the truck, but with clean equipment.
And the call comes sooner than expected. Right before lunch, one of the crews is off again.
There was just a call, so the one crew left, and there's another crew's finishing up making lunch. And when they get back, people will eat, and yeah. We've had a busy morning and stuff. We have, there's a lot of calls we went to and stuff, so it's nice to kind of get a chance to, slow down and catch our thoughts and eat and get ready for the afternoon. So, yeah. I think the day's gone well. It's been really busy and stuff. It was a really busy morning and stuff. Our resources were really stretched there, but it was a good morning. So.
Unpredictable. That's the word many first responders with the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service use to describe their days. It's why the training they go through is high level and incredibly precise to make sure when they are on the front lines, they're prepared for anything.
There's going to be people coming through here, so. So right now our crews are, go. Our crews are getting a call, various crews, it's been announced over the air, they're responding, so we're going to have engines and our apparatus responding out of the station right now on a call.
Deputy Chief of Fire Rescue Operations and Training, Scott Wilkinson, says the amount of calls and the reasons for calls have increased, so the team at WFPS are constantly training and adapting to the changes.
It's been a big challenge for us. I mean, our number of personnel and apparatus haven't changed, but our number of fires and the complexity some of those incidents has. So, I mean, our crews do a fantastic job of meeting the challenge. We try to get out within 60 to 90 seconds of dispatch, so it's pretty fast. I think the common misconception, from old movies and storybooks is that our crews are just standing outside pouring water on fires. This is a highly technical occupation, and our crews are experts in the science and the tactics they use. Well, I just take a lot of pride in what our crews are able to deliver to the public. I mean, at the end of the day, our crews are still here to help people on that worst day, and I think they take a lot of pride in what they do. It takes a toll on our people, but despite that toll, they keep coming here.
With calls coming in, it's time for us to head out with District Chief 4, Ed Ewan.
Yeah. Okay. Are you talking 2251 there, or okay? There's another one. Okay.
With 37 years of experience, Ewan has seen a lot, including how the role of firefighters has changed.
So the call volume is quite high. We do a large percentage of medical calls. Early on in my career, when I rode the squads, we also did a lot of medical calls, but a lot of our medical calls didn't really involve hard drug use. It involved alcohol intoxication, right? And my biggest fear and is that when we go to a structure fire, I've calculated all the risks, but when we go to these medical calls, there is no way that we can calculate all the risks because it's so unpredictable. We want to do the best for the clients we serve, but we also have to ensure our safety, and there's a fine balance in that.
Within minutes of a call coming in about a motor vehicle collision, firefighters were already on the scene. With emergency responders in control of the situation, it was a quick check-in with Ewan before we were off to the next call.
On arrival, I'm going to be thinking right now, myself personally, about what the ice conditions are like and what the water currents are like.
All we know with the initial call is there's a man in the middle of the ice near the Redwood Bridge. With unsteady weather going between freezing and thawing, the first priority is getting him off the ice as quickly as possible without compromising team safety.
So there are a lot of things that we have to take into account. Oh, watch this guy here. Yeah, didn't see us today.
He's right in the middle of the bridge. If you guys come from the east side, that would work. Either way.
The squad's going to another call. This side, yeah, behind
Rescue 6 from District 4. Would you be
You just pull in the parking lot?
He's on the north side of the bridge. There was a spot here of open water previously, so we're just waiting for a water rescue team here to suit up and be able to get him off the river.
Hi there, Chief Lamming. I'm here with media. Just need your permission to come.
The call brought in a dozen vehicles from police, fire crews, paramedics, and ice rescue, all with a very specific role to play in extracting the man from the ice.
As the incident is progressing, you're assessing all the information that you get from the MPS system, the computer. I'm listening to the communications. Generally, when responding to a call, there's a very good chance that I will not be on scene first. So the first in machine that arrives will be the incident commander. And he will be updating me, giving me all the information. And at one point in time, after I've gathered all the information, I will assume command. And then in conjunction with everyone on scene, we'll try and mitigate the situation to the best of our ability.
Go ahead,
right?
Firefighter paramedic Neil McKinley was among the first to respond and see what was really going on.
We arrived on scene to find an individual on the ice, looked to have some medical issues that wouldn't allow him to remove himself off the ice. Multiple trucks arrived, the first in apparatus kind of took control of the scene, assessed the scene, and then the next in crew was a water rescue complement. So those two individuals are trained in water rescue, either open water or ice. And two of those individuals put on our suits and the appropriate PPE and then made entry onto the ice and then assessed the victim. The next in apparatus has a boat, kind of like an inflatable inner tube style. It's like a giant canoe or kayak that we use. Provides us a stable platform to work from. So two more individuals brought that boat out to the individual. Those four guys packaged the person in question, and then we used that inflatable apparatus to move them off the ice, and then essentially up the hill here to provide them to the Winnipeg Paramedic Service, who essentially took that individual to the hospital.
As a bystander, the process from ice to ambulance seemed quick and easy, but that's only because of the level of training everyone receives.
Everybody gets together as a team, and then we kind of just smash stuff out as individuals that makes the group efficient. So the guys on the ice are all trained to a certain qualification or level in order to go onto the ice or into the surfaces, water or whatever the case may be. And then the shore crews are all guys willing to either lend a hand or can't enter the ice because of, right, different trucks have different equipment, so they can't enter, so they all have familiarity. So we're fairly efficient. We get to use it fairly frequently just with training, and then it kind of shows when we get to this kind of situation.
With a patient on the way to hospital, it's time for Ewan to make his way to the next scene that needs him, because his job, alongside the hundreds of people serving with him, is to be there when the city calls.
The old adage is like, when I got hired, I literally won the lottery. And so you might say, well, what kind of lottery? Like the lottery of a job that gives you so much satisfaction. A job that where the camaraderie, I can't describe it. And those are your brothers and sisters that you basically cut your teeth with, or as you progress from a new hire to a senior staff, you grow together, right? And like I said, I have no regrets.